In this video, I'm going to be setting up an API, a project structure for my API using Feathers.js. Feathers.js is an open source real-time Node.js framework, and it kind of abstracts away many of the things you would have to do yourself when using Express or Quad.js or even Fastify. So see it like a meta framework, the same way you would see Adonis.js. So now let's get started. So I want to set up like an API using Feathers.js. Feathers.js comes with a generator called Feathers generator, and that generator I can use it to generate like a project structure just using npm creates feathers as latest API. So I want to create like an API folder. Feathers will take care of generating all what I need for it. So as expected, it's going to ask me some questions. So it's asking me, do I want to use JavaScript or TypeScript? Let me go for JavaScript, sorry, TypeScript. So it's asking me to give a short description about my API. So Memeframe API uses AI to generate memes from video frames. So here we go. So I'm asked which HTTP framework do I want to use, because here you can use Quad.js or you can use Express. So Quad.js is recommended because it's lightweight. Express is typically what you go for, or typically what you go for, because it's much more known. I'm going to go for Quad.js. Normally I shouldn't, because when using TypeScript with Quad.js, that's like just like sitting on a ticking time bomb, because the documentation doesn't even help. But then I don't have to care about using Quad.js or Express because these things have been abstracted away. So what APIs do I want to offer? Do I want to offer REST endpoints or real-time stuff that's Socket.io? In my case, I'll be doing both. I'll explain why later in the next video. So yes, I use npm, and do I want to generate end-to-end type client? Yes, I'll be using that in the front end, either with React or Vue.js or maybe Angular. Yeah, fun fact, I'm recently learning Angular. So yeah, okay, how do I want to validate my data? Type box. Let's go. So which database am I going to be connecting to? In order to avoid overhead while developing, I'm just going to go with SQLite. I think for this project, maybe MongoDB would make sense or something, but I don't really care. So, because mostly what we are doing just has to do with like, object storage. So it's only the metadata will be storing in the database. So in this case, I'm just going to be going with SQLite for now. I should go for Postgres because that's my go-to SQL database, but it means I have to kind of, always turn on Docker to use whenever I want to work with the application, which I don't want to do currently. So in this case, it's asking me, okay, what's my connection endpoints? Doesn't matter. Now it's setting it up. So I'm going to pause the video till it's done setting it up. But one thing you should note is that we have Connects here, which is basically a query builder, which is what we use for the migration, or which is what Feathers use for the migration and stuff like that. You might want to go for an ORM of your choice. Maybe you want to use Prisma, but note that this is like what Feathers supports. So if you want to use that, you have to kind of go out of the already like recommended way of doing stuff. Okay, I'm gonna pause at this point, and yeah, we are back. So we're done setting this up. I think that should end this video, but let's quickly look at what the structure looks like. I'm trying to keep this video under 5 minutes, but I don't know. So let's quickly look at what the structure looks like. So I've opened VS Code, and yeah, here we go. Hopefully this is big enough. If it's not, I'm just going to expand it. So we have API. So you can see the folder structure. You have config folder where you do your configurations, like basically environmental variables and stuff. Then you have migrations. I don't typically have this in my own projects because most times I use MongoDB. But then like when I'm working with Feathers. So So, but this migration is what's where you do your Kinect related stuff, like yeah, for your migrations. Then you have the public stuff. This is already available. Anything you put here, you can access it on via a route or as a path. So then you have the actual stuff, SRC. So this is where this main thing is. So here you have hooks, which we'll talk about. Currently, they just log this. We'll talk more about these hooks and talk about the different kind of hooks we have. Then you have services, which is actually where your service are. Currently nothing. So with the generator, you can generate services, you can generate hooks, typically, yeah. So then you have all this stuff. This is the SQLite stuff. This is what was used to kind of set up the SQLite. We'll talk more about this in another video. No, in another video, we'll talk more about like what this project is about, what we are trying to accomplish and things. Then in the next video, we'll talk more about this. So thank you and see you another time. Bye.